Hello, welcome to a new post on the YouTube channel. For a moment, it's just me and my puppy having a nice chill day, and the topic is being ahead of the time. There are the times, and being ahead of the crowd. That's kind of where I'm at right now, and feeling a little exhausted because it's like you put out the information, you put out all these wonderful tips and helpful advice. And not many people really get it or can grasp it and follow it. And, when you're expending all that energy and not getting anything back, it can be exhausting. But that would immediately go into karma yoga, which is non attachment to the fruits of our actions, which I was just reading about in the Bhagavad Gita. Which, by the way, this version of the Bhagavad Gita by Stephen Mitchell is amazing, in my opinion. I highly recommend it. But so not being attached to our fruits, and being willing to do the action just for the action, and that's what I've been learning for years now, because I have been putting myself out there, making videos and expending time on this and that, and I'm not getting anything back. Not money, not even like thank yous or what's the word? Acknowledgement. A tiny bit, but not nearly as much as I would hope. But now I'm reminding myself that this is part of karma yoga, and it's not about getting anything back. And if I do it for another 10 years and I don't get a single acknowledgement, then that's really karma yoga. Because it's not about the fruits, it's about the action. So that's part of this. But the other thing I really wanted to mention was being ahead of your time, being ahead of this time period. If you're familiar with the idea of sheep people, people who just follow the conditioning and they don't question anything. Even if they're given a chance to question it, they don't. There's too much fear and change, and people are resistant to change. And so they would rather stay within their conditioned mindsets. And that's fine. But then there are a few of us out here in the world that want to progress and move forward on an exponential level. And that's what we're doing. But we're spread out across the map. And it's very difficult to find people that get it, that really get it, in your everyday world. Like, you can't just go to the grocery store and start talking to somebody about afterlives and purpose of reality and possibilities, and maybe there's angels, or maybe there's wormholes, or maybe there's, you can't just do that to anybody. Most people get all scared, and or they might respond, but they respond on like a really shallow level. That's not personal, by the way, but just shallow, like, oh yeah, that's cool, yep. And you're like, no, I don't want it. I want you to respond. I want to have an intellectual conversation. you know. So being ahead of the times is tough, but it's always been that way. Ever since, you had all these great poets and artists and stuff who were out doing their thing, and many of them were not recognized at all. Their entire lives, they were poor, just like me. Actually, they were probably a lot poorer. I mean, luckily, I'm able to work, with the society we have now, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I mean, they didn't get nearly as much credit as they deserved. And it actually took hundreds of years for the average everyday human being to evolve, chronologically evolve, to the point where they could actually understand what these artists were creating. They couldn't even comprehend it. It didn't click. Hundreds of years. So they were hundreds. So these artists were hundreds of years ahead of their times, and some of them were even criticized and called crazy, and and judged and perhaps even crucified. Ironically, there were saints like Jesus that were literally killed because of how ahead of the times they were. But that's also how we create the future. Um, if we didn't have people that were ahead of the times, nothing would ever progress. So you have options. You can be another sheep, and once your life is done and gone, in the next 70 years, let's say, we're all pretty much going to be dead. I mean, let's say 100 years. That's more easy. So if you were just born, you still got 100 years. Let's say in 100 years, everybody watching this video is going to be dead. That's just a truth of impermanence. Don't mean to create fear. I'm just giving you reality. And in that reality, are you going to be remembered, for one? I don't know. Maybe your family will pass down your memories. But unless you're brave enough to be ahead of your times, you're not going to be remembered and appreciated, because you're just going to fill out the pieces of paper and follow the directions and take one little step at a time in the directions they tell you to until it's over. And that's fine. Actually, a lot of millions of people on this planet right now, that is their purpose for this life. It's to do that. It's to learn how to do that even. And then eventually, as they progress through their souls, they will get to a point of self-realization and freedom to choose for themselves, which is what consciousness is. It's the ability to choose for yourself what you really want, and to study yourself here. So don't lose faith in you, and be patient. Don't try to practice not being attached to your actions, to the fruits of your actions. Just keep going. Keep going. Find little bits and pieces that boost your enthusiasm. These are crucial. These are like very valuable little tools. For me, it's music. Music is a huge one for me, as well as, of course, family and friends, and my daughter. She really keeps my enthusiasm, and of life, and of progressing, and of evolving. So keep looking for those pushes, because those will be crucial when you get into lower states, because as we all know, everything fluctuates, and you go through these cycles, and sometimes you can be on top of the universe, and other times you feel like you're stuck in the mud. And there's another good topic, being patient enough to wait for the mud to settle, because if you just wait long enough, the mud separates on the water, and the water becomes clear on the top, and the mud falls to the bottom. But you have to be patient. If you keep mixing it, it's not going to settle. But yeah, be ahead of the times. I love you.